We are back with the 157th edition of the Quarantinecast. Like always, I'm really excited, but this time more so than usual because I have a guest I've never spoken to before outside of messaging. He is not only a UFC fighter, but he's also a former Carolina Panther, which is remarkable, the fact that I'm speaking to someone who's played in the NFL. Without further ado, it's the Prince of War, Greg Hardy. Hey, man, how's it going?
Good, brother. Nice to have you. Nice to be on.
No, I appreciate it. Before we get started, man, I want to thank you. The other day, you were enjoying your moment. You were graduating, and you invited me on to talk to you for like 30 seconds in the middle of your graduating ceremony. So I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a pleasure, man. I made it an event.
And secondly, congratulations, man. That's a huge deal, and congratulations.
Yeah, that was a long time coming, man. I've been sneaking around doing that one here and there through all the back and forth and the fighting and the training and stuff. So it took a while, and I'm super happy, you know what I'm saying, I got it done.
What was your degree in? I mean, I'm sure it's crazy to be able to balance all that stuff, but what was your degree?
Graphic design.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
How has that been through the pandemic and everything? I'm sure it's been crazy.
It's been super cool, man. Just being able to tap into more of like what I like to do, and because I enjoy fighting and I enjoy football, and at some point it becomes your job, and what you do in your free time is what you like to do. So my hobbies are graphic design, man, and I got to do a lot of that when we were just sitting around. Especially, I was on the first Jacksonville event back in sports ever, and then I had to sit for a while. So I've been having time to just get in there, doodle, hook stuff up, I did a couple of designs for some businesses around town. My first, actual business. So it's been super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I thought it was, a lot of people are like, oh my God, he's like an NFL star. Why would he go back to school? And I think it's crazy that a lot of people say that. And I think it's amazing and awesome that you did it.
Nah, man, you gotta keep it going. Gotta keep advancing.
And now we'll swing back into MMA. I mean, you've got a huge fight coming up against Tai Tuivasa. First things first, your thoughts on the opponent?
No, he seems like a cool dude, bro. Mixed crowd, fans wise, kind of like me. Well, not like me, but got some love, some hate. Likes to bang. That's my favorite part. I hate that wrestling crap. He wants to go in there and put on a show, and that gives me the opportunity to go bust his face up, give a show, and then kind of move on to the next stage of my fight career. Let everybody know that it's advancing and it's getting a little more serious. It's not that Derek Lewis. Let's just be trash at all of MMA until we throw haymakers in the last 2 seconds of the fight, kind of ish.
Yeah, I think stylistically this is a great matchup because, like you said, he likes to bang, and that's what you do. That first opening round is really where you excel. I want to talk about your last fight because like you looked amazing, and then the wrestling and the cardio and all that stuff. What's been your biggest change since that fight in terms of your cardio?
Honestly, right now, the only thing we've really been changing is trying to get my actual weight down so that I don't have to cut weight. Because I think a lot of people don't know this. They make jokes and they poke fun, but I've been at 295 as a defensive lineman for a lot of my career. Like I'm a massive dude, and anybody meets me in person, they kind of are like, "Oh man, you're way bigger than you look on TV." So like being that massive is kind of hard when you're cutting and losing weight. And I had one of those back-to-back fights in December against the last one, and before that with I can't remember his name.
Maurice Green.
Yeah, Maurice Green. It was like a month apart, so I had 2 30-pound cuts, and then it just killed my energy systems, man. And basically, fighting without those energy systems is a whole different story. So we're just trying to make sure we come in not cutting, so we can throw the kicks, we can do the punches, we can wrestle, we can think and be cognitively aware.
So what are you walking around at now? I mean, you said you walked around in 295. How much have you dropped down?
I've dropped down about 18 pounds now, but normally I walk around 5, man. I'm just a big dude, don't look it. So we're trying to I want to sit around like 270.
Yeah, it's only a 5-pound cut. Yeah.
Then hopefully in like a year or so come down to at least 265, 260, man. Because I'll be, it'll increase my athletic ability, my movement, the power I'll be able to generate because of the speed and mobility I'll have will be through the roof, man. And I'm super excited about it. My wrestling will be 10 times better. My wrestling defense will be 10 times better. And I think that's just the new. That's when I become the king of war. That's the new style and type of fighter.
I want to talk a little bit about one of the biggest changes in this upcoming fight is you're going to have an audience. How cool is that to be able to be one of the first people to compete in a sold out arena?
I'm excited, man, and it's cool. I kind of got cut off. I was ramping it up. Started off in New York. I kind of had an epic fail there. This is my first 40,000, 40,000, and that's not nothing compared to what I'm used to. But in dunk, because it was first time me out there by myself. It was super, super jittery, and then the pandemic hits, and I'm fighting with no crowd. So this is actually like the first time I've had my nerves back in front of a big crowd, like excited to interact, be cool like I used to, like dance on the field and shit. And I'm ready for that kind of interaction and enjoyment. Entertain and fucking have a great time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your NFL background in terms of dealing with all that pressure has to help tremendously, especially. But the difference is you're by yourself versus, like you said, a team. How big was that, and what was the hardest adjustment when you transitioned from one to the other?
Man, other than my training, other than my walking out and just making sure that like I'm keeping myself focused and not like relying on other people's energies and coaches to keep you level headed and keep you from burning up all your energy from being retardedly excited for no reason. It's the training and showing up by yourself. Because in football, man, most people don't know shit. There's like 5 meetings, 2 practices, 3 lunches, two conditionings. One of those is a weightlifting. I'm there basically all day, have to be at stuff. And it's all constantly keeping you going, keeping you moving. They're shoving food down your throat, throwing books at you, playbooks. Like, it's just somebody making you be accountable. Like, and instead in MMA, like nobody's doing that for you, bud. And if you're gonna show in the ring, and that's the biggest difference. Like in the field, you can get by. If you miss a tackle, there's a guy there. There's Greg Hardy there. Like I got your back. But in the ring, man, if you didn't condition or if you effing off on your weight, like it's not gonna be there, bud. The whole world's gonna see.
Yeah. One of the best things about when I started watching you fight, I was like, your athleticism was unmatched at heavyweight. But obviously, as times go on, I mean, you've had to start to make adjustments. What's the hardest adjustment for you? Was it the wrestling? Was it jiu-jitsu? What was the hardest component to pick up?
It's sound crazy, and because you guys haven't seen it, but wrestling is the easiest thing for me right now, man. Because I hit it so hard coming in. I've been wrestling people like Steve Mako, Rashaad Evans, like just absorbing knowledge from these guys, and the in betweens are what killed me. Like a lot of people think that, oh man, he was in an easy position. Tiberius shouldn't have they shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. I knew exactly how to get out of it. I could have put him in an omoplata from there. I've done it 1,000 times, but I've never been in a position to where like I had to stop somebody from punching me to get to that grappling exchange, because all grappling practices start with grappling. Nobody's hitting you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have fight experience. Like I haven't been in training sessions for 10 years and like had to figure that out. Like I went straight into the big show where like, hey man, like let's not cut Greg. Like nobody's gonna be punching me on the ground. Like those rookie what do you call them, skirmishes that you have when you're just coming up. So because I was so escalated, man, those in-betweens kind of are major for me, man, and it's a big deal. I've been picking up on those hard, and then I would say the other one is just the way that I have to like I take out my athletic ability in fights, because I have to learn. Like I have to be able to go and figure stuff out. Like that Tiberius first round, man, I was throwing like those sick body shots, right hands. Like I had just learned that. So like I had to turn my athletic ability off and stop jumping in and out and phasing around them to land those things. And it was super scary, but it's just like, bro, all right, calm down, turn it off, don't move, no matter what, keep your feet planted and just fucking throw it. And it's a lot of that, and that's guesswork, so it sucks. But
one of the things I admire most about you is the fact that you're willing to throw yourself in the deep end. I mean, you did it right from the start. You're 3 fights in, signed in the UFC. You get an opportunity to fly to Russia and fight the scariest striker in the division. You take it. Not only that, I mean, you have an NFL background and you decide to jump in and do MMA, which is the craziest sport in the world. What went behind that decision to say, you know what, I'm going to go do MMA? You see guys right now, they're jumping into boxing or, these other sports where there's only one skill versus the sport that encompasses it all. How long did you think about doing MMA, and what went behind that decision?
I mean, I would say it like this. I've been underestimated. I've been underviewed, underestimated a lot from the very beginning, and it's a simple explanation. I've never been that guy. I've never been that headliner guy. But my thing has always been versatility, man. I played receiver and defensive end for the University of Mississippi while playing 3 and 4 guard for their basketball team. I went to the NIT. I've been to the Cotton Bowl, the Pro Bowl. Like I played professional basketball, and I've just been. My thing has been trying to be one of the best athletes of all time, and I think I've done a pretty good job of developing myself into that and filling those shoes. But because no one gives me the pub or the recognition or the appreciation, that stuff kind of goes under the carpet or under the table, so to speak, and people just think they wonder why I'm doing it. And it's just simply because like I am one of the best cross sports athletes of all time, and like I love it. I love entertaining, and I love being a monster athlete. It's the competition, and there's no bigger competition than MMA, man, or even boxing. The arena sports.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned a bunch of other things, but you didn't talk about shot put. You didn't talk about sprinting. I mean, you've really done it all. You've really done it all. When you look back, is there one sport or one moment in your career that kind of stands out among the rest?
It's between Sack and Tebow and getting that cover of Sports Illustrated, or catching a touchdown on Mississippi State. Either Memphis or Mississippi State. I think it was my first touchdown in the NCAA, and it was just sick. It was like, yo, I'm a defensive end catching touchdowns. They told me I couldn't.
When you look back, is there did you enjoy your time in college football more than NFL? I mean, a lot of people are like, they love that the time that they had in college, but obviously competing in NFL is a different level. Is there one that you enjoy a little bit more than the other?
It's hard to say, man, because in college I had more fun. Wasn't there? I guess I was, competing for my dream, but there was nobody behind me trying to replace me or dock my pay, or it wasn't as serious. But at the same time, in college, in the NFL, man, because I gave so little Fs, like I had fun. Like I'm the guy that's, yo, I'll pay all your fines. Let's fuck these guys up. I don't care. Like let's do it. Like we goose egg New York, man. We're like one of the only defenses in recent times that have goose egged an NFL team. And that's just having fun. That's guys enjoying each other, man, not worried about mistakes. And that's hard to do in 2021. People always want to like point out your mistakes, get mad at you, talk trash. And I just spent a lot of time dancing on the field, wearing earrings, getting my own hair cut the way I wanted to, tattoos. You know what I mean? Like going to church, giving back to the community and having fun, like being the best bad guy of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. Is when you look back, do you miss the NFL? Do you miss football? I mean, obviously you're at a different stage right now in your life, but with things like the XFL and all these other organizations now starting up, do you miss that? Is that something that you'd consider maybe doing again?
I enjoyed the sport, man. I enjoyed my time, but I really do enjoy what I'm doing now. The fight world has been very, very kind to me, even though the Jay Glazers are giant dicks. The community as a whole is amazing, bro, and the freedom that I have to be myself and perfect my craft on this side is like none other, man. So I don't really want to go back, but because I love it, I would go back for some money. If somebody wants to pay me to make a Super Bowl, yeah, I'll fuck up some offenses for sure.
I love it. I want to talk a little bit about that. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail, but one of the things that really inspired, like, you inspired a lot of people when you came back and you did what you did. You did MMA, and I want to get that off my chest. But how do you overcome a lot of that negativity? I mean, like you said, there's a lot of people in this industry and a lot of people on social media that have nothing nice to say. How do you ignore all that and turn it into a positive? Go out and get a degree, do MMA, become, like one of the best cross-sport athletes of all time. How do you ignore all that and do what you do?
You just adjust your focus, man. And it's gonna sound like an easy thing to do, but it's very complicated, man. And you gotta stop worrying about what they're saying about you and keep adjusting you, making sure you're that guy that you are. Like, and for me, I was already that guy, man. The person that they thought I was a character that I played. But I've been like I went to private school. I'm not a thug at all. Like I'm very intelligent but as an entertainer, like because my fans give me that kind of love, like I'm devoted to these roles and to this fun, man, and that's what they deserve because of the amount of money and the amount of time that people spend and put into loving my fucking persona, loving what I do. So that's for me what I gave back. And separately, when those come back to bite you in the butt, you can't fall back into those roles because a lot of people do, and it's like fuck you guys, and it turns into hate and anger, and that's disruptive for like eclectic people. Like you're doing your journalism thing, like it would mess up your flow, man. It would mess up your energy. You would feel different, look different on TV. And the best thing for me was to just not be that big black scary dude that they thought were trying to portray me as, and be the artistic, dope, do whatever I want kind of guy that not trying to hurt nobody unless you're trying to pay me.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm talking to you now, and it's almost different. It feels like I get to meet the real Greg Hardy, which is awesome. And I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize. I mean, you were getting phone calls, you were getting messages minutes before fights, and you were able to put that away and go out and perform. And the fact that you were able to do that is very admirable.
Want to hear a dope inside tip or inside story? So, what was that? Maurice Green fight, right? I'm cutting weight, yeah, and I'm at the same time I'm getting calls and motherfuckers are telling me like, "Yo, your accountant from the NFL did some crazy ish, some stuff got left over from back in the day when you took a loan. Something it was something from when I was super young, and like the interest had built up crazy. And they were like, yeah, they're garnishing your check. You're not gonna get paid for this fight, but you still got to fight." I was like, what? just shit like that, man. Or motherfuckers like on my shit, like getting my phone number, death threats, well not death threats, but like saying like, "Oh, if I see you, I'll shoot you in the face," or just the craziness, bro. Like I'm cutting weight, and my mind's just it starts to slip, and then that's what I was telling you earlier. That's when that comes into focus, man. Because you gotta let that shit go. But that's what was going on a lot of the time in that Morris Green fight. But I almost punched the hole through the wall. I was just like, "This is mad unprofessional. This is crazy." But then you gotta be like, "Damn, bro. Like I did it. I put myself in those positions. Like, just calm down. They're wrong, but I'm wrong, and move on." That shit was crazy though.
Yeah, I want to talk about two people who really, one of which I'm really close to, and the other I know you're very close to, and those are Dean Thomas and Rashaad Evans. How big have they been in both your MMA journey as well as your personal one?
Big time. Dean got me started, man. He's the one who got me my first fight. My first amateur fight, Port St. Lucie. I'm excited to get back to working with him. Gotta get some things in order after this fight. This will be my back on track fight for all my coaches and get my camp back together, and then get back to training with the master. But he's been influential in like every way possible, man. Just as far as my outside the MMA life journey, inside the octagon journey, and he just keeps investing time, not tripping on me, not worried about a lot of anything, just keeping those good vibes that I was talking about, and surrounding himself and helping me surround myself with the best people. And the same with Rashaad, man. Like just weird, we all got brought into each other's lives in a weird way, and we started to click. And I was honestly just looking for people to believe in me and that wouldn't quit on me, because that's what it takes to work with somebody like me, because of the BS constantly. And it was just the best two people because they don't give a F. They're certified already, and they're cut from my kind of cloth. Where like I am super gifted. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna outwork you. I'm down to work. I'm down to show up at 5, leave at 10. There's no way, and it's really a joy, bro, to get to actually work with those kind of people, because I've been looking for those kind of people, basketball, football, track, every sport I've ever played, man. I've sought out those kind of people, and just I would even say leached off of them, man, and enjoyed the time, but try to drain them.
I'll have a couple more questions, and then I'll let you go. At what point do you think you're going to be, when people think Greg Hardy, they think NFL? At what point do you think they're going to think all-around athlete, NFL, basketball, MMA fighter? At what point do you think that is the overall picture when they think of Greg Hardy?
Man, I think coming soon, because I'm going to take this time for the rest of this next year to be back open. I'm going to start opening up more doors to talk, and I've shut myself out a little bit too, so that everybody can see and know, man. Because if you don't talk about it, if you're not active and letting people know and interacting and engaging, man, people aren't going to really care to look. But once I make this evolution, I start taking people down. Look out for that. Start kicking people in the face. They're going to be like, oh, crap, Greg Hardy. And they're going to be able to interact. And I'm going to start putting myself out there so they can see, man, the full package is I make regular athletes look silly. I'm a super athlete, and the sky's the limit. And you should tune in, and people are going to want to further engage and tune in and see what happens next, man. Because I think we're going to go overseas and play some basketball next. I'm even thinking about playing a little bit of baseball, man, trying to get into some AAA. It just depends upon how fast we get this MMA ball rolling, because the gold is the number one option, but number one athlete of all time is what I'm shooting for.